everyone. So today's topic is introduction to functions. Okay, so you have already studied relation. So today we are starting with very basic things regarding functions, and in today's session we will be covering what is a function, introduction of domain, codomain and range of the function. We will also introduce real function and real valued function. So after today's session, the learning objectives are, so basically introduction of functions and very basic knowledge of domain, range of the function. So to start with, so let me start with a very practical example. So let us imagine a user, if you put apple, mango, carrot or any other vegetable here, I mean as input, you will get the juice of that fruit or vegetable. So it means depending upon the fruit or vegetable you are taking, you will be getting the juice. So here fruit or vegetable which we are taking to grind, so that may be taken as input and the juice we are getting is taken as output. Okay, so and the mechanism within this juicer, that is basically we call it function. So function is basically an operator, and through that operator, because of the mechanism of that operator, whatever we are putting the input, accordingly we get the output. So we can take this real life example to visualize the function basically. And as if we go mathematically, as you already have studied relation prior to this concept, so here let A and B be two non-empty sets. A relation f from A to B is said to be a function or mapping from set A to set B if every element x belongs to A is associated with unique element y belongs to B. Continuing with our same example, so yeah, so if we take just let us link the same example in a little bit different way mathematically. So mathematically, if we imagine this machine, so let's imagine a machine and let us name it as F. So we have the machine F. The machine takes some input and depending upon the mechanism it gives the output. So let us say the mechanism inside the machine, suppose it is 3x plus 1. It means if we insert x into the machine, the output will be 3 times x plus 1. Okay, so in that way we can write fx equal to 3x plus 1, and if we put x equal to 1, 3x plus 1, that is fx equal to 4, means f1 equal to 4. Similarly x equal to 2, now 3x plus 1, 3 into 2 plus 1, that is 7, output is 7. It means fx at x equal to 2 is 7, or we can say f2 equal to 7. If we take x equal to minus 1, our output is f of minus 1, that is 3 into minus 1 plus 1. So you are getting minus 2. So here what you can see, whenever we write fx equal to 3x plus 1, so here x is the independent variable. Whatever value we take for x, I mean whatever is our input, the output we get accordingly, and of course it depends upon the mechanism of the function, right? So here x we take as, I mean on our own, so we call x as independent variable. Now depending upon x we get fx. So y equal to fx, that is the dependent variable. Okay, so to basically function, whenever we say function, so one thing is we define it in this way. A relation f from a to b is called a function if every element of a is associated with unique element of b. So it means function is basically the relation from a to b in which every element of the first set is associated with unique element of the second set b. So basically function is a relation. Okay, so that is one observation we can say. So what type of relation? The relation in which every element of A associated with unique element of B. So we'll go in a more elaborate way. Okay, next coming to domain, codomain and range of the function. So whenever we say y equal to fx, x is independent variable. That is also called pre-image of the function. And y depends upon x, right? So it means y is called dependent variable. The other name of the dependent variable is image of the function. So while coming to domain of the function, in case of relation we have studied what? We have taken relation as set of ordered pairs which is a subset of a Cartesian product B. So whenever we define relation R from A to B, we define in this way. So R is a set of ordered pairs that is a subset of a Cartesian product B. And domain of the relation we have defined set of all first components of the relation, set of all first components of the ordered pairs belongs to that relation. And range we have defined it as set of all second components of the ordered pairs of the relation R. Here also similar way. So as whenever we write y equal to fx, so it means whenever you write the ordered pair xy, it means x fx. So set of all pre-images, set of all x, that is called domain of the function. So domain of the function equal to A, because whenever we define the function, so it is a relation in which every element of A is associated with unique element of B. So every element of A means no element of A is left behind. So each and every element of A is taken as the domain of this. So domain of the function means it is the whole set A. And set B is called codomain of the function. The set of all images, the set of all y or the set of all values of the function is called range of the function. So range of the function is basically the set of all fx, set of all values of the function, or you can say set of all y, or you can say set of all images, set of all dependent variables. That is range of the function. And range of the function in general, it is a subset of codomain of the function. So you cannot get range beyond codomain. Okay, codomain contains range of the function. Now having studied relation and a very brief idea regarding function, so you can see how to visualize. In case you are given graph, so how to know that the graph is a function or not? Because whenever you have any relation, you can draw a graph. Okay, relation between x and y. Okay, so if you are given y equal to 2x plus 1, so you can draw the graph easily because you have the relation between x and y. So, but all the relations are not functions. So you can say, because whenever you say the relation in which every element of A is associated with unique element of B, then only you can say the relation R from A to B can be called a function or mapping from A to B. So whenever, suppose for example, you write x1, x2 belongs to A. So if you have x1 associated with y1 and x1 associated with y2 also. So in that case, when x1 associated with y1 and y2, I mean more than one element from B set, so that cannot be a function. Similarly, whenever you write, suppose for example, you are taking every element of A has to be taken. So if any element of set A, I mean domain set, is left, so again in that case the relation cannot be a function. So basically all the relations are not functions, but all the functions are relations. So whenever you have relation between x and y, so then you can draw a graph. But now question is how to check whether all the relations are functions or not by just looking at the graph. Here I have taken three graphs. So first one, this is a function, in these two not a function. So how to, I mean how to identify? Okay, so the basically one logic is here I have given. If a vertical line intersects the curve at more than one point, then the given relation cannot be a function. I mean this is for what reason? Why I mean this cannot be called a function? The logic is very simple. Suppose for example, so for one pre-image we have many images. I mean many here signifies more than one. So it means, suppose for example this is the line, this intersects the curve at two distinct points, and this line, suppose here you can say if I take this line is at a distance 5 units from y-axis, so it means x equal to 5. Okay, I am just taking an example. So it means if this point is, suppose for example 5, you can say 5 minus 2, and this point may be 5 2. So 5 2 5 minus 2. So 5 is associated with 2, 5 is associated with minus 2. It means one x with more than one y, which is the violation of definition of the function, because every element, every x should be associated with unique y. Right? So it means one pre-image should be associated with unique image. So if one pre-image associated with more than one image, then the relation cannot be called a function. So similar logic is here also. So is it clear? So whenever we say, this is called your vertical line test. Okay, so if the vertical line intersects the curve at more than one point, the relation cannot be called a function. Okay, but in this case, so one pre-image, one image. So I mean the intersection point is single. So the vertical line intersects the curve at only one point. So this is a function. Okay, so let's see one question. The question is, suppose A equal to, A is the set containing -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and B -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Consider the rule fx equal to x square minus 1. X belongs to set A. Show that f is a function from A to B. Draw the arrow diagram to represent the function. Okay, so I am bringing the arrow diagram first. Okay, so now we have to prove. First part of the question is to show f is a function from A to B, and any relation can be called a function if any relation R from A to B can be called a function from A to B if every element of A is associated with unique element of B. So every element of A, so A has the elements -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So f minus 2, here we are given the rule x square minus 1, fx equal to this. So fx equal to x square minus 1, x belongs to A. So f minus 2 equal to 3, right? Minus 2, square of minus 2, 4 minus 1. F minus 1, again minus 1 ka square minus 1, you are getting 0. F0, then F1, F2, right? We have taken all the elements. Now here you see, you have -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it means our observation here is every element of A has an image in B. So it means every element of A is associated with the unique element of B. Now second observation, no element in A has more than one image in B. So this is the second observation is basically association is unique. First observation is every element of A is associated, and second observation association is unique. So because this is satisfying the definition of the function, so this relation can be called a function. Now coming to arrow diagram, you see -2 related to associated with 3, and 2f2 associated with 3, then f minus 1 0, f1 0, then f1 f2 equal to 3, okay, f1 equal to 0, right? So it means every element of A is associated and the association is unique, because -2 associated with 3, -2 is not associated with any other element. 2 is associated with 3. Okay, so it means 2 is not associated with any other element. Okay, we have to see in this way. So even if now you see -2, 2, they are associated with 3. But here the thing is, the definition says every element of A associated with unique element of B. So if -2 associated with 3, -2 associated with 2, in that case it would not be a function. So -2 associated with 3, but -2 is associated, it's not associated with any other element. So association of -2 is unique, association of 2 is unique. Similarly 1, -1, 0. So each element, they are associated with one and only one element of B. So that is, this relation is a function. So here there are some questions for you. We are given this B set given, write first function from A to B defined by fx equal to 2x plus 5 in roster form. So here we already are given it is a function. So you can start with what is f1, f3, f5, f7. So that will be, f1, for example, f1 equal to 7, right? F2 equal to 9. F2 is not there, 2 is not there. F1 is 7, F3 is 2 into 3, 6 plus 5, 11. F5 is 15, F7 is 19. Okay, so you can write here 1, 7, then 3, 11. So like this, in ordered pair form you need to write. Second part is the function from A to B. Yes, the similar question, just the relation is different. Okay, so I hope you can do it. Second question is, we are given set A and f is a function from A to set of natural number B defined by fx equal to the highest prime factor of x. So highest prime factor of x means, so here x belongs to A right? So highest prime factor of 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, for each element you have to find highest prime factor of that number. So then you can take the ordered pair, and writing the domain means set of all first components of the ordered pair will be domain, and set of second components will be range of the function. Here codomain equal to what? When you say f is a function from a to n, codomain equal to set of natural numbers. So one more simple concept, you can say introduction of real function and real valued function. So what is real function? The function fx is said to be a real function if its domain and codomain are either the set of real numbers or they are subsets of real numbers. On the other hand, the function fx is said to be real valued function if its codomain is a subset of real number. Okay, so here nothing is told about domain of the function. In real valued function, you have to see codomain is a subset of real number. Okay, so domain may be real or complex, no problem. But in case of real function, here domain and codomain both are subsets of real numbers. Even if it is equal to real number, so a real number set is subset of itself. So not an issue if you write it is subset of real number. And please note that domain and codomain, when it's not mentioned, many questions we may not be given domain and codomain. So not to be confused, when domain and codomain are not mentioned, so by default we assume the function is a mapping from R to R. But if it is given, then it's fine. Like for example, you are given it is a function from a to n. So this is fixed. Domain of the function is set A and codomain is set of natural numbers. But if nothing is given, simply it is given fx equal to 1 by x. Okay, so in that case, so we know, the domain and range, they are subsets of real numbers. So here you see fx equal to 1 by x. So this function is defined for all real values of x except x equal to 0, because if x equal to 0, you cannot have this denominator will be 0 basically. And if you take gx equal to 1 by x square minus x minus 6, when we have to see, the common sense says denominator cannot be 0. So it means x square minus x minus 6 is basically, it is your x plus 2 into x minus 3 if you factorize this denominator. So gx is defined only when it is not 0. So except denominator, except the values of x where it is 0, denominator is 0, you can take all other values. So for that reason, when x equal to minus 2 and x equal to 3, gx won't be defined. So you can say it is defined for all real values of x except x equal to minus 2 and x equal to 3. Okay, so basically here what you can say, even if we are not given domain and codomain, so domain and codomain are subsets of real numbers. The other factor is how to get domain of the function, though we will be studying that portion in details. Here just let me say, so x belongs to set of real numbers except 0. So obviously that will be domain of the function, because domain of the function is set of all real numbers. And some more examples you can say, just to here the name of the functions today, and in next session we will be covering all these functions. Some more examples of real functions are identity function, which we write it as fx equal to x, constant function fx equal to k, for example fx equal to 5, fx equal to minus 2, etc. K is any constant. Modulus functions that is given by fx equal to mod x. Greatest integer function we write like this, it is the greatest integer not exceeding x. Again we will be discussing this. Square root function like fx equal to root x. Okay, so this fx equal to root x is defined when x greater than equal to 0, because we do not have any real number whose square is negative. That's why x cannot be negative. So yeah, next signum function fx equal to mod x by x. This is a general form of signum function, and also we will be studying polynomial function, rational function, logarithmic function, exponential function and trigonometric functions. So these are the functions we will be covering in our syllabus. So maybe in our next class we will be studying, we will be introducing these functions along with graphs and domain and range. Okay, so we will be discussing about these functions in details in our next class or next session. So next section we will be covering discussion on domain, range and graphs of the special functions mentioned above. Means these are the functions we are mentioning here, and in next class we will be studying about these functions in details, and these functions are very important. These functions are very you can say useful while studying calculus. So thank you so much.